Everybody, or actually I should say good morning everybody. It's about 11 o'clock. My name is Mayor Mike. You are in the town of East Hartford. This is 50 Chapman Place. It's our relocated town hall. We're having some renovation work done at 740. So we have a number of important people here today. But without further ado, let me turn the podium over to the governor, and you'll hear some important information about what he plans to do about taxes in Connecticut moving forward. Ladies and gentlemen, Governor Ned Lamont.
Thanks, Mike. Good morning, everybody. This is an important announcement. This is the biggest tax cut since the dawn of the income tax in the state of Connecticut. This is an income tax cut.
Yay.
Yeah, that's not bad. What do you think, Fountain? This is an income tax that's really going to be overwhelmingly focused on our working families, essential workers. It starts with the fact that no families earning more than $50,000 will have any income tax obligation to the state of Connecticut. You always want to eliminate the income tax. We're eliminating for people earning up to $50,000, families doing that. We're able to do that because of two things. One is, you remember, we have a 33% increase in the earned income tax credit. And secondly, we're going to reduce the minimum rate we've got right now, which is 3%. We're going to reduce that by 33% to 2%. So put those two pieces together. Families earning up to $50,000, no income tax obligation to the state of Connecticut. People earning less than 40 will see a rebate thanks to the earned income tax credit. Finally, we're going to reduce the 5% tax rate to 4.5% tax rate, a 10% cut in the 5% tax rate. What does that mean to you? That means that most of the tax cut overwhelmingly is going to go to people earning less than $100,000, and almost all of it goes to families earning less than $150,000, $160,000. Rather than a lot of rebates and credits, this is something that you're going to see in your paycheck starting January 1, 2024, in less than a year. You know, most of you will see a reduction in your paycheck of somewhere in the order of $20 to $30 a month, $40 to $50, $20 to $30 per paycheck, and about $40, $50 per month. And what that means to families, you don't have to apply for this. You don't have to fill out the forms. You will see a reduction in your withholding, which means you'll be keeping more of what you earn. And where's Tamika? You know, Tamika, who's amazing, will be speaking in a minute. She's got a bakery here. I've spent a lot of time working for Kevin Lembo in the controller's office. And at the bakery, she's making a lot of bread, but she's going to be able to keep a lot more of what she earns. And that's what we want to say. This is going to be, it's a long time coming. Look, we've got a lot of good paying jobs out there that we're trying to fill right now. I need to get people working. This is an earned income tax credit. If you're working, you're keeping a lot more of what you earn going forward. I think that's what we got to do. Susan and I, early on, wanted to make it easier for people to get back to work. That's why we also raised the minimum wage. That's why I have paid family and medical leave. That's why we've been expanding daycare, doing all we can to make it easier, Tamika, for you to be able to recruit more people to be able to work at your bakery. So look, I think we've really managed the budget over the last 4 years. For 4 years in a row, we've got a balanced budget plus a surplus. I wanted to make sure this is something we can do, not just for the next year or two. Oh my God, let's see what happens after that. I think people want the consistency and certainty to know this is a tax cut that's built to last. So I hope it makes a difference, Tamika, for the folks that work for you and all the folks out there, knowing this is the biggest middle-class tax cut in the history of the state. It's going to make a difference. Thank you very much, everybody. With that, Susan Bicewitz.
Thank you. Thank you, Governor, and thanks everyone for joining us on this beautiful sunny day to make a historic announcement. This is the first time that the income tax has been cut since its inception in 1990. And we're able to make this tax cut because since the volatility cap was put in 2017, we've had more than $7 billion directed to our budget reserve fund. And after 4 consecutive years, we have surpluses totaling over $2 billion each year. So we've been able to fully recapitalize that budget reserve fund. And that's why, and I'm going to repeat this because this is a big deal, that's why we want to reduce the 5% rate to 4.5% and to reduce the 3% rate to 2% for our income tax for 2024, saving taxpayers over $440 million. And this is a tax cut that's going to affect a lot of people. We have 1.7 million filers, and 1.1 million filers will have the opportunity to see tax relief. So that's 63% of the filers of our income tax are going to get tax relief. So this is a broad-based tax cut for the people of Connecticut. And depending on your adjusted gross income, joint filers are going to get almost $600 in tax relief, and single filers are going to get $300 of tax relief. So when you take the earned income tax and this tax cut savings, that is an estimated $480 million of tax relief this year that we are proposing. And so that means for families of four that make $50,000, they'll pay no income tax at all to the state of Connecticut under our two proposals. So this is a great day because this is another way that our administration is proposing to make our state more affordable, and it comes at a good time, at a time when energy prices are going up and families are really feeling the pressure of inflation when they go to a grocery store. So we are very, very pleased to make this important announcement, and to talk about the announcement a little bit more is our tax chief, Commissioner Mark Boughton. Commissioner.
Thanks, Governor. Wow. This clearly is a historic day. I want to thank Governor Lamont and Lieutenant Governor Bysewicz for having the vision and the courage to put this on the table. We're taking money and we're putting it back into people's pockets where it belongs so that they can hire people, they can buy things, they can spur our economy. You know, last week I used a term called transformative. And somebody said, what's so transformative about this stuff? There's nothing transformative. A budget's a budget's a budget. Well, thanks to the great folks led by Jeff Beckham at OPM and the governor's vision of what he wanted, this is a transformative budget. When have you ever had a discussion about which taxes to cut instead of lurching from fiscal crisis to fiscal crisis over the last 40 years? I can't remember a time. Yeah. And it's this team that has done this for us here in the state of Connecticut. So I'm excited. I'm excited because we're going to collect less money. We're going to have less paperwork to process. That's good. Everybody's going to be happy. But more importantly, we are investing in the working men and women and the working families of this state by giving them a little bit more to cover those costs, to cover those bills, and to make life just a little bit better for them. Meeting the vision the governor set out of making Connecticut a great place to live, to work, and to be educated in. So Governor Lamont, thank you so much. Lieutenant Governor Bysewicz, thank you. Great job. All right, let's get the filings going. Sorry, Gov, I got to mention a little bit. All right,
Yeah.
thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner. All right, so we could not, we're not going to be able to pass this proposal without our partners in our state legislature. So we're very happy to recognize Representative Henry Jenga, and I'm very pleased to call on Senator Saud Anwar.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm so honored to join our governor, lieutenant governor, commissioner, mayor, and my fellow legislator, Representative Henry Jenga, and my East Hartford family and our OPM family, because this is a day which people have been waiting for 30 plus years, to be able to have our governors stand up and say, we're going to cut taxes for the people who need help. And what better time than now when people do need the help? It's a very special day, something that we should be proud of and celebrate, and it was not going to be possible without the leadership of our governor, our lieutenant governor, the entire team, and I'm so happy to be here. And I wanted to thank our mayor for arranging for the sun and beautiful weather today. So thank you. Thank you so much, everyone.
All right. Thank you, Senator. You know, one of the great things about supporting women-owned businesses and making sure that they're successful is that women will use the resources they have, the money that they earn in their businesses, to support the community. So almost 3/4 of every dollar that their business makes stays right in the community, and that's why we're very proud to introduce the owner of East Hartford's Perfect Pound Cakes Bakery, Tamika Mitchell.
Good morning, and thank you all for having me. Businesses are struggling right now, and mid and small sized businesses need a credit like this, especially Perfect Pound Cakes. We appreciate all the support that we can have, and every penny counts when it comes to having our money allocated to the resources that's needed. So I just appreciate the opportunity, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Tamika. Appreciate it. All right, so we're very happy to have our media partners here. So we'll start with on-topic questions for the governor and all of our amazing partners.
Can you say why this isn't happening in the current year? Obviously, it's not supposed to the legislature, but why not take less withholding when it passes? Why are we waiting till January?
Jeff, you want to do that?
Well, we have to, for all of the changes we make in the tax code, we have to fit that into our balanced budget and what the spending expectations are for all of our programs. So we're going to start this January 1st of 24, and so we will see withholding changes starting then.
When you have so much money in our surplus, people are going to wonder why it's not immediate.
Well, the surplus is going to use. We've got some plans for that we'll detail later in the week, but it's also, as the Lieutenant Governor has pointed out, been paying down our unfunded liabilities, which is resulting in savings in our ADEC, our actuarially determined employer contributions to the pension fund, which is freeing up money for programming that we can fund in the general fund.
Can you explain how many people are affected? I apologize if you answered that. With the tax cuts that were announced last week for low-income families in this, I mean, how many people are we talking about?
The personal income tax change affects 1.1 million filers, which is 63% of the 1.7 million filers. The earned income tax credit, which we announced the other day, affects 211 residents of the state. I'm sorry, 211,000, excuse me.
211,000.
Thank you, sir.
Like all the numbers we've had today.
Yeah.
Are other states doing similar things that you're aware of? Did you get guidance, or I really don't know?
Other states doing tax cuts? Some other states are we understand, proposing tax cuts as well.
To go back to Jody's question, I think one thing is that as we pay down our pension debt, we expect $448 million of savings. So we need to get that in order to provide this tax cut, which is about that amount.
Well, what's the latest estimate of pension savings after the pay down as a result of the transfer from this year surplus into the budget reserve fund?
As of last summer, as you know, we've had about 3 or 4 years of what we call the waterfall, which is when the budget reserve fund gets to 15% of the general fund. The excess can go to pay down unfunded liabilities. As of last summer, we had saved about $500 million in pension contributions in the future. This year, we're doing another $2 billion of waterfall, which is going to save another $100 million or so off of the ADEC.
Will this need to be reevaluated every year, or is this a permanent going forward?
What's that?
These tax cuts.
They are permanent going forward.
Okay, so, sorry, go ahead. 500 million, another 100 million, plus 600 million increase in your revenue estimates over the biennium. So add all that up, and that's sort of the windfall that we're looking at?
Yes.
Is that fair to say? Okay.
And we'll have, the governor's going to give a speech on Wednesday, and I'll be in front of the Appropriations and Finance Committees on Friday, and we'll give you more details on that.
Governor, can you talk to us about the sustainability of this? As some of the speakers have already said, kind of the ebbs and flows of the state budget. It goes up, it goes down. You were talking about you want this to, you also used the word permanent. Tell us about the sustainability of this, to be able to not just do this for 2 years and then forget about it.
Yeah, I think that's the right question, Chris. We've had some stops and starts when it comes to tax cuts and credits over the years. I wanted to do something working with Jeff that we thought was good for not just for this biennium, but going forward. We had to get that balance right. I think right now we've got it balanced going forward with this tax cut. Added to that, 3.4 billion in a rainy day fund. If we were to go into a recession, we wouldn't have to raise taxes. We wouldn't have to change out this tax, and we would also be able to maintain our support for cities, mayor, and education.
Did you give any consideration to maybe tinkering with the benefit recapture provision, in which you make the top you make the top amount, you get taxed by 699 from.
Look, my hunch is we'll get plenty of advice from the legislature on this, but I don't like cliffs either, Paul. And one of the things this does is, look, overwhelmingly goes to people earning up to $100,000. Folks earning up to 160 will get some savings, and then it goes off. Having a cliff creates all sorts of disconnects.
And the maximum, I don't know if Susan mentioned this, did I hear, is the maximum that someone could benefit is $600
Yep,
when you run the
about
numbers?
that. About that for a family, and for individuals, $300.
That's right.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Great to see you.
Okay, Jeff.
Thank you, sir.